Evangelicals split over unity and separation because they were trying to solve two real problems. The first problem was truth. How do you remain visibly joined to people who deny what you take to be the heart of the gospel? And the second problem was church. What do you do if your institution you belong to is old, mixed, compromised, and still, in some sense, yours? That is the fault line. It's not a personality test or a temperament first idea, but church and truth under pressure. And for some evangelicals, the answer was separation. If a denomination contains serious doctrinal confusion and its public teaching no longer guards the faith, then staying begins to look like complicity. And that's the instinct behind Martin Lloyd-Jones in 1966. Not narrowness for its own sake, but a concern that visible unity without doctrine and clarity becomes false comfort. And for others, the answer was stay. Reform from within and contend and preach, bear witness and do not surrender an entire church simply because it is mixed. And that was the instinct behind John Stott and many Anglican evangelicals. Theirs was not an idea of softness, but a conviction that inheritance, office and patient witness still could matter. And the reason this split kept occurring is that both instincts can appeal to faithfulness, and the separatists say truth must come first, and the stayer says duty and witness must come first. The separatist says mixed fellowship confuses the gospel, and the stayer says departure abandons the field too soon. That's why this argument lasts and goes round in circles, because each side can accuse the other of compromise or schism, and each side can sound morally serious whilst doing it. And there is a deeper evangelical issue here, because evangelicalism is a movement that crosses denomination. That's what gives it its energy, but it also creates all that instability. If your deepest identity is evangelical, you may eventually ask why you should remain tied to a church body that is not clearly evangelical. If your deepest identity is Anglican or Presbyterian or even something else, you may ask whether evangelicalism is meant to renew your church rather than replace it. So this was never only about two men in one meeting. It was about what evangelicalism actually is. Is it a trans-denominational movement, a renewing party inside historic churches, or is it a fellowship defined by doctrine more than institution? And there is the real pressure point. And that's why evangelicals split over unity and separation, because unity is not cost-free and separation is not cost-free either. One risks confusion, the other risks fragmentation. One can blur conviction and the other can turn purity into this perpetual division. So the split happened because evangelicals were trying to decide which danger was worse. Is it losing the truth in a mixed body, or losing the church in the act of leaving? And once you put it like that, you can see why the argument never really went away.